Cynthia here with Creative Thinking, and I just wanted to pop on real quick just to talk to you a little bit about communication during this stress. So, during this time in particular, with staying home and trying to learn how to function in the COVID world, there are some things to remember. Number one is communication is always the key. So stop believing that a person should know what you are feeling or thinking. So it's very important that you communicate what you need them to know. How many times have you told yourself, it's common sense, why should I have to tell them this or that? Well, it's not always common sense to other people. You have to remember that we learn how to communicate and how to be adults from the people who raised us. We've all been raised differently, and even if you are raised in the same household, you can have two kids that come up with totally different views of how they were raised. So remember that your common sense may not be common sense to someone else. So it's important that you always tell people what you're thinking and communicate it, because they could just not know, and it could be just an innocent thing. So, and number two is listen. You have to listen to people to understand. So because we all have different communication styles, you have to remember to listen to try to pick up on cues to how that person listens or understands. So when we understand a person's communication style, then you can better understand why they think and communicate the way they do. So when you are, even if you've been with someone for 20, 30 years, you still have to be so in tune to that person to understand how they better receive communication and give communication. So you could do things a certain way and it just makes you shut down, and then you're no longer communicating to that person because they're not listening to you. So you have to find a way to not come across in a way that makes them shut down. This takes for you to spend time asking the right questions and finding out how that person thinks or better receives. And sometimes the person may not even know how to get that. So that's where you get a communication coach to help you along the way. So, and the third thing and last thing is, because this is a stressful time, you have to be intentional about being with your loved ones. So we are all, I don't know if you have children or not, but I know in my home, just trying to navigate through the whole homeschooling and working from home and the Zoom meetings that get all messed up because of the internet and all of those things. You get so caught in a rut of just panic and trying to figure things out, you forget to spend intentional time with your family. You spend time with your kids or your family, but you also have to remember to be intentional about your time with your partner. So, just like we have staycations, you can even plan a datecation. And take your spouse on a date, surprise them. Hey, honey, go take a shower, put rose petals down. I don't know, whatever you do. Cook dinner together, whatever it is. But figure out how to have a nice date night at home. Put the kids to bed early, whatever. But be intentional about the time that you spend with one another so that you can reconnect. So again, number one, communication is key. Never communicate with expectations of the other person already knowing what you're thinking. Two, listen. Listen to hear people's communication style. Okay? And number three, be intentional about the time you spend with your spouse and your family, your partner, whoever, whatever. Okay? Thank you for listening and thank you for watching. You guys be blessed.